What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. Brighton 1, Palace 0. We'll be discussing that game in way more detail here. As always, want to hear your thoughts on the games, and also if you do back on future Palace content. But I'm joined by Patrick here. Patrick, how you doing?
I'm okay. Your mic cut out a couple times just now, just so you know.
Is my mic cutting out? Okay. Whilst I fix that, what's your thoughts on the game?
No, I think I can hear you now. Thoughts on the game? Very, very, very frustrating. No issue with the lineup necessarily. Maybe Schlupp shouldn't have started, but everybody wanted to see Edward, Wilf, and Elise, and it just didn't work. Happy for Joe Whitworth, played really well. Shame he gave up the goal because I thought that Gay should have done better on the goal. But for me, not enough fight from the team. Wasn't good enough. And I'm going to say Brighton is where I wish Palace were. Plain and simple. Ownership, playing style, play the kids, and much higher at the table than we are. It's just not good now. And before everybody comes on, I am 100% Vieira in. 100%. Because to me, this is about bigger than him. It's not about the manager. But anyway.
Okay. You know what? Let's just bring people on one by one. If you guys want to join in and have your say on the game, make sure to click on the pinned comment in the comment section where you can join via video to have your say on the game. Let's bring on Jamal first. You join first. Jamal, Brighton 1, Palace 0.
Hi guys.
Defeat away from home at Amex. What did you make of it?
Wait, Jamal. Please, I want to be where you are. Where are you, please? I want to be where you are. Seriously.
I'm in the tropics. I'm in the tropics. So the defeat.
I want to be there. I need to be there, man.
The defeat is not as bad. The defeat is not as bad here.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
What my thoughts on the game? It was the first 15 minutes. Right, the first 15 minutes. We looked fantastic. We pressed high. They didn't have a chance to get past our press. They made a lot of mistakes, but I think we didn't capitalize it. But after 15 minutes, we just seemed flat. After they scored the goal, the whole team just seemed flat. We lost confidence. We didn't have a midfielder or a defender say, "Come on, guys, let's go. We could get back this goal." Everyone has just dropped. After that, defensively, we weren't bad, but I must say one thing, that the new goalkeeper that we had, because of the industry, we should give him a round of applause. He was fantastic. Without him, we would have conceded 2 or 3 more goals. I had save from the who's the guy? McAllister header. The McAllister header. Yeah, oh man, fantastic save over to the right hand side.
Yep.
It was a fantastic, and the way how his confidence, even though he conceded a goal, he head did not drop. He still passed the ball around the back. His passing accuracy, Patrick, I don't know if you could check it, but his passing accuracy was very good to me.
I'm gonna check it
he
right
didn't
now,
lose a lot of balls. Defensively, we weren't bad either. Midfield, we weren't bad. I mean, I guess holistically, looking at it, we were the team that didn't have any confidence, and they're a team that's flying high. So I find it hard pressed to be so hard on the guys. But I just didn't like that they had drops after the 15 minutes. After the goal scored.
What do you think it was then? What do you think it was? Why did the head drops after 15 minutes? Do you think it's just a lack of confidence that's just affecting the team overall?
I think it's confident, not only through the team, through the club, through the fan base. It just we just got a big dark cloud over the team, and I don't see why. Let me explain it. If you look at financially, the amount of money that we put in the club compared to clubs that are underneath us, they should be kicking up storm. We did not invest enough, and that's the reason why we're in the position we are. We are 12th in the league for the probably last 4 months. Okay, it's not like if we are 20th or 19th or 18th. The level of criticism that the team is getting right now is not to the position we are. I'm not saying that we're playing well, but I think we're a little harsh. And on the Patrick Vieira point, the guy could only work with what he had. Last season when he had Gallagher, for example, you could have seen it was a totally different team. We went straight to Wembley, and it was because the players he had. It wasn't just manager's bunks or he just came in. He had players to play system that he wanted. Now that Gallagher is gone and we had to put in other players, the team is not playing the way how he wants it to play. And he can't rely on a striker. We got Mateta. We play Mateta for 5 games, he does nothing. We play Edward for 5 games, he does nothing. Who else there is? Who is going to put? He can't put Zaha there because if he put Zaha there, he lose attack over the left hand side. We don't have anybody left to fill it, so we need Zaha over the left. It's not like we close Zaha and put him by front to the side too. But all I can finish now. But all I want to say is that I am not all the way down beat. I mean, we got Arsenal next. It's going to be a tough game, and then we got the other 5 games that we have to do well in. But I don't think that we should be so hard on the guys.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
Jamal, just to follow up on your point about Whitworth, he had a 71% passing accuracy as a goalkeeper today.
Okay.
Which is pretty
decent.
good.
Joe was,
Joe
was the main thing to be proud of today. Joe was
100%. Whitworth was fantastic.
As a 19-year-old,
19 years old.
Yeah. So it's Palace through and through, and also
and he
the
looked
fact
like he was there.
He only knew that from the morning that he was going to play in a game that's this massive. Credit off to him, you know. At first, I'll be honest, I was a bit nervous for him as well because he wanted to have the first touch. But as the game went on, he looked very good. You can see with his passes as well. I know he wasn't like 100% passing accuracy, but that was his first professional game away from home, a hostile crowd, and he had big balls. Don't say that. To hold himself strong in front of the Amex,
correct.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy as a youth player. But Jamal, before you go, sorry, go ahead.
I would say, and the defenders had faith in him and pass him the ball back when he was under pressure, and he didn't look out of place at all. And that's credit for the staff and the other members that helped him, prepared him mentally for the game. Going to Brighton and only conceding one goal, and this is the first thing coming out on the Premier League. That's great. That's very, very good. It'd be better if he kept a clean sheet, but given the circumstances, I can't think about a time where he put a foot wrong that I said, "Oh shoot, I'm missing Gaeta." It wasn't the case.
Very good save. Without him, we could have probably lost 2 or 3. I mean, and we're talking about a youth goalkeeper, 4th choice or 5th choice goalkeeper, if you include the likes of Remy Matthews there as well. And he saved us, so that's interesting. I wonder what Vieira does with him going forward. But looking into the Arsenal game, Jamal, based on that performance, I mean, we created a few chances, even though it was a bit dull towards the end. Do you have any faith that we could potentially go there to upset them?
If we had Lokonga, I could have said yes, we could get something. But without Lokonga and Decore now on 9 bookings, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what our midfield is going to look like. To be honest, I'm not even sure. We may go back to the Schlupp, Decore, and then if Decore get a card, then he can be missing 2 games. 2 games because he'll be on 10 yellow cards. So there'll be 2 games. So he missed the Leicester game, and I can't remember the next game after that. So we need to be very careful. But Arsenal right now are top of the league. They're flying. They look very good attacking defensively. If we get a draw, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Look, thank you for calling in, Jamal. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Jamal, man. Enjoy the weather. Take care.
Have a good day.
Enjoy the weather. Yeah.
Thanks,
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right.
If you guys want to call in and have your say, click on the pinned comment. There's a few people waiting. We're going to be rotating as much as we can. But before we do bring on, let me just check the order. It was Kristen, Oscar, and then afterwards we'll have Dan. I was going to say one thing because I'm surprised that not many people are talking about Vieira, funny enough. I was expecting a few more comments about Vieira, but no one's really talking about him. But I just want to bring up this comment because my personal opinion, I feel like this comment is massive for the fact that I think is a very good reason why we're in the situation we're in right now. Of course, you can look at the manager, maybe she get the best out of the players, but until people realize the bigger problem, for me anyways, which was that we spent the least after having one of the most successful seasons in our history, if in a Premier League era, if you're talking about the style of football that we played, talking about a cup run, talking about where it was going, the mood was amazing. We got rid of Benteke and Conor Gallagher. That's 12 goals, and we didn't replace, the midfielder situation until Sambi Lokonga came in on loan in January, which had to be solved in summer, and we still haven't got another striker. So if you're talking about ambitions going forward as a football club, I know some of you still want Vieira out regardless, and I understand your points. I'm not here to say you're wrong or you're right. That's not my job here. I'm trying to mediate things. But one thing that I will say is, you bring in another manager, I can promise you in the short term, it might be all nice, but in the long term, until we have owners that want to spend money, we're going to end up in a situation. The right back situation that I want to talk about. We've needed a new right back for about 3 years. And you're telling me we couldn't find a right back in 3 years' time? Are you telling me Nathan Ferguson is all that we had when Ferguson's been out injured from day one? Who does that go down to? It's genuinely pathetic. Even the options coming off the bench compared to Brighton's. You know, you have to, I don't want to go on here and rave on about Brighton, but you have to look at the infrastructure. You have to look at the model that they have. And look at ours. I mean, I know we started the academy most recently by building a new academy site, but the ambitions, that's what scares me the most. It's not the manager, it's the ambitions. Who's going to take us forward as a football club? 2 out of the 3 owners, I'm not too sure about. All 3 of them, I'm not too sure about. I don't know what their motivations are. And until we have people that are ambitious, that want to take the club forward, then I feel like these problems will keep happening over and over again, which is the most frustrating thing about me right now. Talking about this, I'm annoyed by that. I don't want to go into this game too much. But let's bring on Chris, who's been waiting for a while. Chris, how you doing?
I'm all right. How about you? Are you gentlemen okay?
Disappointed, frustrated. Yeah, frustrated. I literally said it. Yeah, it's very annoying. It's very annoying. The fact that it's annoying is because I mean, we started the game off well. I don't know about you, but we dropped off. We dropped off towards the end, and it was so easy to defend us. But what do you make of it?
I think, as it's been pointed out in the chat, I think the first 15 minutes might have brought Vieira a little bit more calm in the comments at the moment. We showed enough then, but it is difficult to see how we're going to get out of this mess. I don't think he's all at fault. I don't think, as you pointed out, changing a manager, whoever it might be that people have got in mind, is going to fix this in the long term. They might have to use that sort of wild card, that joker, and get someone in for that quick bounce just to keep the team in the Premier League. But it'd be a shame for Vieira. I don't blame him too much, but some of those players are just not earning their wage, not even coming close to it at the moment.
Yeah, it's annoying because honestly, yes, I just don't understand it. I mean, one goal, you can tell where the whole confidence, how confident we are. Based on that one goal that we conceded, we have no confidence, like absolutely none. How can one goal take us out of the games that much? I mean, as soon as that goal went in, it was frustrating. In the second half, it was so easy. I mean, first half, we still had a few chances, and we can talk about Edward, get your thoughts on it as well. But in the second half, it was so easy for Brighton. And maybe in the last few minutes, we had 1 or 2 dangerous opportunities, but it just dropped off. Why do you think that is, Chris? Is it just a confidence? Is it the tactics? Is it the subs? Like, what is it that went wrong in the second half compared to the first half?
I don't know if it's motivation or what it is, but I think the most frustrating thing is that the teams that are beating us, they're not even having to try that hard. They're not having to run around like lunatics. I've watched other games between the relegation candidates, and it's been high tempo. It's not always been good quality, but there's been passion. There's been motivation and all, and I just don't understand. Our players just seem to walk around. It's not like they're quite playing to get the manager sacked, but they just seem so low in confidence. They don't want to be the one that makes the mistake. They play it backwards every time. So it's just Anderson running it towards Wilf and knocking it to the left flank. It's the same thing we did 10 years ago, and crossing our fingers. It's embarrassing.
Chris and Dee,
go on, Patrick.
I gotta bring this up, right? So 5th minute, great cross by Klein. Edward has a free header and misses. Okay, 5th minute, 10th minute, Edward had a great pass from Zaha. He's on goalie, steal 1-on-1, terrible shot. At 12th minute, we had 6 shots. They had 0 shots. We were all over them. We're pressing. We're playing great. 40th minute, from Sonny March scores, and the game's over for me. So you could talk all you want about, blah, blah. But my thing is that goals change games. Edward has to score on those 2 chances. He has to score. We've been talking about him playing. We kill Mateta. If Edward is this quality striker that we claim we bought, he has to score one of those 2 goals. And it changes the whole game, because we all know that in the past, all the games have been 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. You know what I mean? And for the most part, if you score a goal, the other team comes back. But today, you just knew that if Pazon scored that first goal, we weren't going to come back. So for me, the whole game changes on those two chances. He has to score one. He scores one of those, and they're not hard. One's a one-on-one to keep it. That one's a free header. Free header that we talked about Mateta about harder header he had against Man United. Everybody killed him at that. Was it Man United or Man? I don't know what it was. He had a header against one of the teams and he missed. And like, you can't miss a header. He has to score. So let's bring out that agenda that Edward, who has been called up by the manager to do better, today he failed us big time. He just did.
Yeah,
as other players did it, by the way. So
nice. No, we nag every time. Like, I'll drop Ayew, drop him, play him, take Mateta out, put Wilford left, and he does all these things. Like, he's been rotated enough now, and it's just not working. I don't know how much is down to him, the coaching staff, the players. But when it comes to Mateta and Edward, I can change my mind in 5 minutes which one I prefer. I'm very head or tails, very on the fence. Like, I'm so fickle.
Yeah, look, it's picking out of, like, it's not like we have great options. Like, who's going to be less worse than other? That's what it feels like at this point. The reason why I still want Edward to start is because, I mean, it keeps Wilf in the right position and keeps the other players in the right position. But it's not for the sake of Edward's going to score goals or Mateta's going to score goals. It's for just literally the basics about the other players. It means that the other players can play in the right positions. But then again, Chris, I don't know about you, but we should have had, we had 3 strikers. We got rid of Benteke. I'm not saying that was the worst decision, but getting rid of Benteke, but not bringing in another forward, I don't understand it, because we only have 2 strikers. We only have 2 strikers, and neither of them are scoring goals. That's the most frustrating thing.
It's a bit like the Villa game. I went to the Villa one, but I didn't go today. But it was just that one decent through ball from midfield, and it caught us out. I don't really know what Mitchell and Gahey were doing for that goal. I don't really blame Whitworth too much because he's brand new. But it's difficult. Like, you can't just perform for 10 minutes a game and think that's acceptable. And again, like, I've earned my crust as a footballer now. That's okay. It seems to be there's no one there to go, right, well, we've had 10 minutes, we've had a setback, let's go out there and continue like doing that for another 10, 15, 20 minutes. There's no one there on the sidelines or on the pitch. I don't know if they're lacking that if they're lacking that bloke to replace Derry. It doesn't have to be like a shouter, but he has to have something about him to motivate.
Yeah. For you, let me ask you before you go, Vieira, have you lost all faith, or have you still a bit of faith?
Not just yet. They're all to blame. You know, it's, to me, it's like a quarter on the players, a quarter on Vieira, a quarter on Doug, and a quarter on the board and the backers. Like, I just don't know if you'd be getting the right players, right positions. That's on Doug, and I don't know. I can't get. And then again, there's the old question: if we get rid of him, who do we get, and is it going to fit into the long-term strategy? I don't know if the players will react to anybody at the moment. They look so downtrodden.
Exactly, and these are the players that looked so excited under Vieira last season. It's like, I don't know, some of the names that's getting mentioned. I'm just looking at these group of players, and I'm just thinking, yeah, you bring in Bielsa, maybe it's more attacking football, but I don't know how they'll react. I don't know if that will just motivate them and get them through the line. I think it's been a frustrating season, and this game pretty much sums it up. At least we have shots on target, but yeah, you look at the options that's coming off the bench, not great. It's not great at all, and that's why we're in the position we're in right now. Literally, but talking about the Arsenal game. Yeah, go on, Patrick.
Sorry, Bielsa's a non-starter. The reason he was supposed to go to, or maybe go back to Leeds, supposed to go somewhere, or Southampton, and he needs about 8 or 9 staff members to follow him, and there is no chance in hell we're paying for them. So Bielsa, you can talk about. I don't know if that's Champ. This is where you got an idea.
Patrick, look, Bielsa is honestly, that's why I don't want to. That's why I don't want to talk about managers. Look, I'm very frustrated.
I'm not talking about him in particular. He's a total non-starter.
I'm also very hungry as well. I need to go have dinner. But I'm trying to keep. I'm trying to keep it in. But for me, look, where I stand is, you get rid of the manager. I think in the short term, some of these names, they might help us. A new face at the club, a new maybe style of football. But in the long term, if you don't have the investment, you're going to be stuck here. I mean, we're talking about, I don't want to pick out individual players, but we're talking about the right back situation that's been going on about for 3 years now. I mean, we got rid of Wan-Bissaka and we didn't bring in a replacement right back yet. How long has it been? And we got good money for him. Like, how long has it been? And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, we brought in some very good players, but the players that we've needed to urgently solved. It hasn't been solved. And I'm telling you, if you bring in a more young, modern right back, this team will play better because that right-hand side, if it ain't Elise, there isn't an overlap option there. At least with, Tyree, he has that threat going forward. But you look at Klein, he just, I feel bad for him because he shouldn't be in that situation. But if it ain't Klein, it's Joe Ward. You know how, they don't play for championship clubs. That's the reality of it. They don't play for some championship clubs because they got better right backs. And some of these players that we brought in are from championship clubs, which sums up our problem. You just need to invest. You need to solve these out. And that's why, for me, I have to question the board as well. It's just not all on Vieira. Yes, you could get better out of these players, but I'm just sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. I don't want to sit here and shout because I don't have the energy. No, Get rid of the manager and bring in who? And do what?
No.
The same old thing. Without money, without spending money, you're going to be stuck behind. But Chris, sorry, it's your time to talk. But it's that frustration inside of me. I'm trying to keep it in, but sometimes it just keeps popping out.
It's all good. It's how you start all the shows.
Do you have any faith in that?
No, just I'm not like, it's never good to lose to Brighton, but it was kind of the least frustrated I've been. I don't think I've even sworn today. It's just like, okay, well, that's acceptable. And I may be reflecting the players as well. I don't know how gutted they are, apart from maybe Will, because that'd be the last time he plays them. I suppose the only positives are the keeper was good, and Ward keeps his record of never losing against Brighton, but that's barely a positive when he's on the pitch. And going forward, I don't know. I really can't say if I think we're going to stay up or not. I suppose we're going to find out in April.
Yeah. So you don't have that much faith for staying up?
No, we got all the telltale signs. The goals are dried up. The intensity's gone. No real team spirit. No leadership. It seems to be written. I hope Vieira and co can prove me wrong. But it's like playing devil's advocate and trying to be positive for me. And maybe Patrick's got some stats for me to cheer me up. But what's going to change?
I haven't got none. I wish I did, Chris, mate.
There's no stats. Not
today.
for me anyways as well. So I don't know. Well, a stat, 3 shots on target. That's an improvement. We had 3 shots on target.
That's our quota then. That's us done to the end of May.
Yeah, 3 shots on target. That's it. It's done. We've had our shots on target limit. But look, Chris, I really appreciate talking to you. And thank you for calling.
Cool.
Thank you.
Lads.
Take care.
Yeah.
Take care, Chris. Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Oh, it's very, 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 very annoying. Very annoying. Let's bring on Oscar. He's been waiting for a while. Oscar, you there?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah. Not well. I'm not going to even lie. How are you?
Yeah. I'm doing fine. I'm actually not feeling that bad because Liverpool crashed out of the Champions League. So there's always something to make you feel better. But yeah, what is there even more to say about that performance tonight? First 15 minutes, playing well, shots on target. We can see the goal, and then we just give up. We just completely gave up. The players didn't look like they wanted it. That there was no desire. There was no fight. There was no intensity. It was just a shambolic performance, unfortunately.
Why do you think that is? Why is there no desire? Why is there no intensity in a game like this? Forget about staying up for a moment. In a game against Brighton, we some of these players have been, or players even that's not starting, they understand the importance of this game. Do you think it was down to the intensity, or was it just down to the tactics as well? Do you think Brighton done a good job in terms of sussing us out in our attack? Wilf, I want to check it out. Whilst you're going to reply to this, I'm going to check it out. But I want to know who had more touches today, Whitworth or Wilf, because I'm not too sure. And I think it might have been tight, and I won't be surprised if Whitworth had more touches. And I think that's more down to the tactics. We just couldn't get the ball down to him. Am I being too harsh?
Yeah.
Or
No, I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, we lost to a better team. Brighton are a very good side. We don't like them, but we have to admit it. But it's that. See, Vieira, for me, he did what he needed to do today. The lineup he put out, I think, bar Schlupp, was the best lineup we could have put out. Obviously, not including the goalkeeper situation, but it just something wasn't clicking, and Edouard was starting, and he missed several good chances, but this is the thing. Like, do you look at it? Do you look at the positives? We've actually had shots on target today. Oh my god! Or we squandered those shots and then completely gave up. It's yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's just it's poor. It's poor.
Yeah, going forward, Arsenal is going to be another tough game. But do you think Vieira will survive the storm? Do you have faith in him?
Yeah, I mean, I do have faith. I think this part of the season has to be a write-off because we've had a horrible run of fixtures where we've done fairly well when it mattered, like the draw, like we, walking away with draws against United and Newcastle, nearly holding City to a draw. Like, we've had good performances at some points. And then after the international break, we've got Leicester on April Fool's Day, so that could go either way. But then we've got Everton and Leeds and Southampton. These are games we should be winning, but you just never know anymore, do you? Yeah,
it's a bit tough. Arsenal, not going to be any easier, but I'm actually looking forward to it at this stage. I really want to get through the Arsenal game and just forget about this past 3 months. Honestly, it's been, I don't know who sat on the fixture list, but they clearly don't like us. The amount of games that we've had to face against top teams has been absolutely ridiculous. It's not even like in between. I know we had Brentford, but even Brentford are doing well this season. It's been absolutely ridiculous. But Arsenal, there isn't that much. Well, I guess there's potential pressure on Vieira. If you get absolutely battered, then maybe he's gone, or he might even be gone today, according to reports that was coming out before the game. Arsenal, do you think we can have a shock in us? And maybe if we play like that.
I mean, you never know. It would be the most Palace thing. It would be the most Palace thing ever to do it, wouldn't it? Like we did that earlier. We lose 4-0 to Spurs, then we scrape a 1-1 with United. So anything could happen. I think Vieira, he's so close to cracking it. Like when we played United at home, the lineup he put out, that was the lineup, and he was so close to cracking it, and then it just regressed, and we just had this run of poor performances. Like the pieces are there, but I don't want to put all the blame on Vieira, and of course I can't. Like the players don't look like they care. He's not getting backed by the board at all. But when he has the pieces at his disposal and he's not using them, then you got to start asking questions. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's natural. It's natural. He's the leader, unfortunately. But yeah, as I said, I think the problem for me just is bigger than Vieira. Get rid of him, bring in another manager, and probably gets better out of these players in the short term. But we need the investment. We desperately need the investment in the squad. But look, Oscar, thank you for coming on to the show. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, guys. See you soon.
Thank you, Oscar.
No worries. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Oh, Patrick. It hurts. It hurts, but it is what it is. I mean, it's frustrating. It's frustrating the way that we lost. But before I bring on Dan, quickly for you, what were the positives today, if there were any? Because I mean, there's a lot of negatives that we can talk about.
Well, one was the lineup. Basically, everybody wanted. So clearly, if he was being stubborn, which I've said before, he wasn't today, which is very good. Whitworth was very positive. I thought, listen, the kid's 19 years old. I watch a lot of academy football. I'm one of the rare people, and I've watched him. And I've always said he's got a chance to play. The only issue is his height. He's got great reflexes, as you showed in that save, the header save. He's got great distribution with both feet. One time he got a heart attack, came out of the box like a super keeper one in the first half and collected the ball and cleared it out, which is kind of mad. That was very positive. I'm looking at the lineup. We're going to do the play ratings, I think, later on. I don't have a lot of good ratings. So besides that, and actually, you know what? Beginning of the match, I like because we were pressing really well. We're back to the old Palace. I love that Congo was pressing.
So, yeah, I told you about that though from before. You said it's not going to happen. We spoke about it in the preview. We spoke about
no. Don't speak
Why would you go for it?
No. I think we won't. No. Let me finish. I said we weren't going to go gung ho. I didn't say we weren't going to press. Gung ho is like going to try and score 4
Yeah, but
goals.
even this we haven't seen. I do think that
But
quickly
pressing's
before I
not-
bring on Dan, because he's been waiting for a while, and Chris as well.
Sure.
Before we go on to the callers, do you think he changed it about today because of the pressure that's on his head?
No, I just think it was just the thing that he had to do. I mean, it just kind of made sense. I mean, again, I'm not disrespecting Brighton because I'll say it again. Everything Brighton is doing is 100%, but they are not Man City, they're not Man United, they're not Liverpool. You know what I mean? They're not that high. I mean, yes, of course they are as far as the table says it. But for me, you can kind of play a little bit with, or you can try and play a little bit. You can kind of press them. I mean, they had Levi Colwill, who's like a 20-year-old kid from Chelsea's youth team, and they had Lewis Dunk at the centre. You got to press those two. So from that standpoint, I think the other game that we got points from, and even Man City, he played the opponent more. Today, he played the way Palace should be playing, where we got to play against, not Arsenal, but against Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, everything going forward. So for me, it was more, he just adjusted. I think that's what good managers do. But I don't think he went gung-ho today. He was smart. I mean, he used, Olise the press, Wilf was out wide, was pressing, Edward up top was pressing, the Congo's getting involved in pressing. So I don't think he did a smart thing today. I don't think it's something you could have done against the other teams, honestly. We would have got massacred.
If you guys want to call in and have your say, honestly, I've had a long day, and have your say on the game and more, click on the pinned comment. Look, I'm going to bring on more callers now. They've been waiting for a while. Let's bring on Dan first. Dan, how you doing?
Well, yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm okay.
Another defeat.
How are you guys doing anyway?
Yeah, frustrated. That's how I describe myself right now. Frustrated about the defeat. It's just the whole situation at the football club. It looks so bleak right now compared to where we were last year. I mean, last year we were talking about FA Cup semi-final, playing some good football, scoring goals. This season, absolutely nothing. I don't recognize this Palace side. I don't know what it is. But for you today, 1-0 defeat against Brighton. What did it make?
Mate, it's a struggle for words really, without swearing my head off. You know what I mean? It's disgusting and disgraceful. You know, there's a real lack of leadership there. You know, every single Premier League season, we've always had the natural born leader, i.e. Mila Jedinak. You know what I mean? And then, you know, Wilf stood up to the mark, but there's no leaders out there at this present moment in time, and we're just getting battered all over the shop. You know, it's just an embarrassment and a joke. You know, I just struggle trying to get myself up to watching it anymore. You know what I mean? It's just the same old predictable lineup. You know what I mean? Jordan Ayew, Jeffrey Schlupp. You know, we got that new kid Almada there. I think he's absolutely brilliant, breath of fresh air in the club. But you know, Patrick Vieira still wants to pick his favourites. You know, he's just rewarding people for bad performances, and it's just a bit of a joke.
But then today he didn't play Ayew. So
sorry. So before we continue, Dan, is it possible to put your volume down? There's an echo. There's a very bad echo. I'm not too sure.
Is that any better?
Let me talk. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's got better.
Yeah. So then, as I was saying, I don't quite get the Ayew comment because he didn't play today. Or he didn't start. He did play. He always plays at some point. Schlupp, I do get why people be upset, but I'm just trying to think in my head today with Maka and Hughes both being sick still. Who do you start instead of Schlupp today? I guess Eze. And then he came on and he was useless today.
You got to start against Brighton. Yeah, against Brighton. Like there are arch rivals. You know, we love to hate them and all that stuff. You have to play your most strongest lineup and go with a forward thinking lineup. You know what I mean?
So who would you have played instead of Schlupp then today?
Eze all day.
But he was terrible today.
I mean?
He was terrible today. He was terrible today.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't want to see him out on the wing, but a couple of games ago, I think him and Zaha switched, and like Zaha was playing through the middle, and you know that sort of like you know produced better things, but again, you know, I mean, I really just don't know what to say about it all. You know what I mean? It's so hard to it's so hard to sort of like wherever put people wherever. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like filling square holes with round pegs. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but
It just
I
doesn't
listen.
fit.
I understand
And
the frustration, but today he played Wilf out wide where we wanted him. He played Edward up top. We wanted him. He played Olise out wide. Everybody wants him. He played Lakonga in midfield. Everyone for Lakonga. He played Corey next to him, which is great. The only thing I could say, the only person out of position today was Sharp, right? So I don't know about today being the day to talk about the lineup because today he did what we all wanted, except for again maybe Bar Schlapp. Unless I'm missing something. I'm not sure who should
yeah,
have played
fair
besides
play
Schlapp
on the
today.
fair play on the lineup today. But I'm talking about other fixtures as well.
Okay,
Why is it
no,
taking? Why
you're
is it?
you're right about that. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Why is it taking him so long? Why is it taking him so long to just go with that lineup that looked a lot more better today? All right, Brighton found us out, and you know what I mean they bossed the game for the majority. But you know, in the first like 20 minutes or so, we looked like a totally different team. We looked like a team like we did last year. You know, as Dee said. You know, but you know, this is hard. This is hard times, very hard times, and I think moving forward, you know, we need to. These are some winnable games coming up, and we need to act as a team and be better and proactive in going forward and move it along at a fast pace.
Yeah. So for you, in terms of where you stand with Vieira, is it a case of giving him a few more
I
games?
mean, I'm Vieira in all day long. You know, at the end of the day, the man hasn't really been backed. You know, all right, first summer he got like 70 odd million. You know, the second summer he didn't get that much, but you know, we always knew he wasn't going to get that much money. But we desperately needed a striker, and we missed out big time. But I think with all the players out of contract this summer, again, it's just going to be a massive rebuild, and I don't want anyone else. Like coming in that can do that job better than Vieira, because I don't feel anyone can.
Okay. Look, thank you for calling, Dan. Actually, before you go, Arsenal, let's quickly mention that as well. It's going to be another tough game. The final
7-0
stretch. 7-0 Palace.
Come on, Dan. Love it. Say it again. Love it.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, Arsenal struggle against the lower teams like Bournemouth. You know, Bournemouth took them to the sword really with good defensive work, and you know, I feel Palace are very, very strong at the back. You know, that's something that we are. We're not leaking a lot of goals. We're very, very strong at the back. If we can manage to string something forward in going forward, like an Eze pass to Zaha and do what we've done against Liverpool, then who knows? You know what I mean? Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's why I was talking to Dee before about the chances that Edward had and the Elise chance, I guess it was early. If we put one of ones away before they score, it's a different game. But our confidence is so low going forward because defensively, you're right. You haven't seen more than one goal since, I guess, Fulham or Tottenham. It's been a while. Do you know what I mean? But we just cannot, score, which is our biggest issue. It's not defensively. Yes, we can make mistakes defensively, but for the most part, it's going forward that's killing us, not defensively.
You've hit the nail on the head there, Patrick. You know what I mean? I really don't know what to say. You know, going forward, we just stink. You know what I mean? It's just stinky. It just absolutely stinks. But
yeah,
something's going to change. You know what I mean? We've got to put in a performance, and why not against Arsenal at the Emirates? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, let's just go for it. Balls to the wall. You know what I mean? Just chuck them. Just chuck them out. Just chuck it out.
Yeah, love that.
Exactly. Look,
cheers, Dan. Appreciate you, man.
Well. But look,
thank you very much for letting us on anyway, guys. And you have a great night.
You too as well, Dan. Take care. Next up, Chris is not here. He's been waiting for a while. I wonder where he's gone. But quickly, before we bring on the next guest, Patrick, I just want to say another thing and get your thoughts on it as well, and everyone that's watching. Eze, let's talk about it. There's been a lot of people that's been getting onto Vieira. Even Dan mentioned it there about the likes of Eze, why they're not starting more often. He's the creative spark. But for me, I think he's had a poor 2023. I think he's only had one good game. That was the Brentford game coming off the bench. I don't think he's warranted his starts. I think if there's going to be one player that's playing going forward in that central area, I think it should be Ahamada. I don't know what it is. What is it with Ebbs? Because today he came on. I don't know if you're trying to get involved. I don't know what's the word. He's not getting on the ball as much. Where's that creative spark? Where's it gone?
I don't know, D. He's obviously shown a lot of moments during the season. There's been no consistency. He's more than a year past that injury, so I wouldn't have been injury. That was more last year than the season. I don't know what to say because had he started today for Schlupp and played the way he did when he was on, I'd have been furious. But having said that, because again, I would have wanted him to start over Schlupp 100%. But the performance he put in today wasn't good enough. I don't know what the issue is with him. I don't know. Now, he plays centrally. He didn't play out wide. I don't have a problem him playing either one. I know we talked about this a million times. I kind of prefer him in the middle, but I don't mind if he floats out to the wide because he can beat a guy one-on-one and then get crosses in. I mean, you've seen him do it before. Like you mentioned, he played really well against Brentford. He played well against Liverpool. He brought the ball to Wilf. But there's so many. I need more moments like that. Obviously, Leeds, the headed goal against Leeds, blah, blah, blah. But there hasn't been enough moments. What does he have? Like 4 goals, 3 assists. So the numbers aren't terrible. Do you know what I mean? But he can do more. Huh?
The performances ain't been there, though.
Yeah, no, they haven't. Right. So I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I mean, look, there's a lot of people that even at back of the nest that we, the likes of T and AJ, they call for Eze to start a lot of the time.
Right.
But me, I can't get onto Vieira for not starting him if he has performances like this. I can't, because what is the reason to start him? What has he shown? I don't know what he has. It's just starting him for the sake of starting him. But then you can say the same thing about Edward, I guess. You can look at both sides of things. But yeah, literally, it was frustrating to watch. Well, LG is being playing. You there?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, we're good. How you doing?
Doing well, thanks. Yeah, all things considered.
Yeah, exactly. Another defeat, this time at the Amex. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Patrick, and shouts out to both of you again for jumping on these live streams after every game. It's always fun to tune in.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I mean, Patrick hit on the head. Has nothing to do with the defense. I feel confident in our back line, especially center backs, but simply we just are not creating anything out of open play. And I think it's no surprise that the first 20 minutes of the game, when we were pressing on the front foot, that's when we created, because I honestly have no faith in the team to build out from the back, pass through the midfield, transition the ball into the attack, and create chances. I have no confidence in that.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that when we're winning the ball in their third and their half, that's when we're creating chances. We don't have to worry about transitioning the ball. And where does that come from, in my opinion? I think it's really 2 places: fullbacks, right? Like, teams can press us, funnel the ball to our fullbacks, and then when Mitchell gets the ball to me, the same thing every time. Hopeful ball down the channel to Zaha, to the striker.
Yeah.
Works out maybe 20% of the time. Other times we just lose the ball. Same thing with Klein. Usually just goes back to the keeper, maybe back to Henderson.
Exactly. Today, I wonder how many times he had back passes, and I think that's the most important thing about it, because people talk about, maybe people think, I don't really see people talk about, but maybe people think that surely it's just a right back that we need. It's just one position the other team should connect, but it has a domino effect, because if you have a right back that is not as comfortable on the ball, that can't play the forward passes, you go back, it's easier for teams to press, and it's the same thing. They want our fullbacks to have the ball for one reason, because they know they're not comfortable on the ball, and it destroys us massively. Last season we got away with it because we had the likes of Gallagher and we had that central force through the middle, and because of Anderson really target us. But now that we lost the midfield, the creativity in midfield, it's so easy to defend against us. It's just stop Wills, stop Elise. We don't have overlapping fullbacks that are causing trouble. We don't have anyone from midfield running in and causing trouble. It's so easy and so predictable. And I think it's down to 1 or 2 players, but 1 or 2 players that we've needed to strengthen for a very long time that we haven't done. And that's why when the situation we're in is so predictable, our attack. And that's down to the lack of quality that we have. But Patrick, sorry, you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, LG and D. I have to say, though, today's not the day to get on Klein from the numbers standpoint. I'm going to tell you why. And I listen, I watch every game, and I totally agree with you both. His default is to go backwards, and so I get that. So, but he had an 86% pass rating today, and he created 2 chances. You have to remember, he put a ball. Let me finish there. He put a ball on Edward's head in the box. He has to score that. That's a cross from Klein. That was the Mitchell cross. That was that was Klein put the ball on his head. So give him a little bit of credit. Now
Okay, fair enough,
Mitchell,
Patrick.
wait, let me finish. Mitchell, I'm gonna stat though. Mitchell, agree. Today, passing accuracy, 62%. 62%, which is really, really poor. And again, today, his default, again, as LG's greatly rightly said, if he's not done the ball anywhere, throw it down the line to Wilfman. Wilfman's the one-on-one of the defender, which Veltman just ate him up today. So my point is, I understand, D, your point. Listen, you have to retort what I'm saying. I understand your thing about Klein, but today, he wasn't that bad. He really wasn't.
He wasn't.
Okay,
he wasn't.
Okay. But one thing that I have to say, and let me hear what you guys think about
Go
that.
ahead.
The passing accuracy that you're talking about, of course, that there was that one.
No,
cross,
I'm more about some of the cross.
Okay. So that cross, how many times did it end up in them situations? We're talking about one opportunity.
Well, it says here he created 2 chances
minutes.
more than anybody else in the team, but I don't know.
But what's the 2 chances? Okay, you mentioned the 1 chance, but I can't remember the other chance. The problem is, Patrick, he's not an attacking threat. It's easier for teams to defend him. Come on, even when you look at the eye test, he's not an attacking threat.
I get it. Today's not the day for that, though. It's not fair. Today he doesn't play that badly. He didn't. It was on,
no.
You know what I mean? In the past,
I don't know. Okay, I hear what you're trying to say. I think
he puts a ball on our striker's head that he should score, and he doesn't. Can we blame get on the striker? Then you can't blame Klein for that. He did his job. The right fullback puts a ball on a striker in the 6-yard box, and he misses it. Come on, D. And then we got 1-0. It's a different game. So I get what you say. I understand the Klein issue. I really do. But today is not the day for that. It's not. It was more.
But the reason why I'm saying that, let LJ jump back in after what I say.
LG, bro.
LG. Sorry. It's been a long day. But the reason why I'm saying the things I'm saying is because you mentioned about that 1 chance. That's great. But other than that, Patrick, you were just Elise running down the line.
We don't create any chances. That's why I only have that 1 to we don't create.
We don't create any
LG
chances.
Said we don't create enough. So if we create, we got to score, right? If we create a chance like that, we have to score.
I think one of the reasons why we don't create enough chances is because the lack of quality in attack from our fullbacks. How many times did you
and our midfielders and our wide players? But you're right.
How many times did you see us? How many times did you see Klein run past Elise down on the right hand side and put crosses in? I saw it about maybe 4 or 5 times, 6 times.
Again, I understand that because that's his limitation as a player. I'm just saying that when he did put a chance, we have to look at that. We're Crystal Palace. We don't create chances. So a player that creates a chance cannot be destroyed today on our show because he did his job. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying.
I'm talking about the long-term problems.
And I don't want to get into this again. I get the long-term problem. Let's focus on. We're talking about today's. It's not a season. We're talking about today's match reaction, not a seasonal match reaction. But I get what you're saying about Klein. I'm saying today is not there to kill him because he actually played to me decently, and he puts the ball in there. We have to score on, and we don't create that many chances. We're a team that has to score. If we get 3 chances, we got to score 1 or 2. Day before they had 4, we missed every single one of them. We're not that good.
That's LG, sorry, jump in, bro. Sorry.
Yes.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. Klein wasn't one of our worst players today. He was probably one of our better players today. It's just more about like the general patterns of play, like
100%. Yeah.
And to your it would be nice to have attacking fullbacks, but honestly, just first priority is I want a fullback where if he gets the ball in a tight space, I'm going to be confident that we're not going to lose possession. Like if I see. If I see Mitchell, who I love, by the way, I'm not trying to get down on Mitchell. He's such a class guy. But if he gets the ball in a tight space, I know exactly what's going to happen. Like I have no confidence that he's going to be able to pass the ball into center midfield and then find the open space to, make himself an option for the next pass. So I mean that's only part of it, right? Like in terms of chance creation, I think, like for example, Schlepp is like the same thing. Like I was watching him so close today, and it's like I just don't really know what's going through his head a lot of the time. Like when we have the ball, it's like he thinks the job's done when he makes a pass. Like I don't see him moving into open space for the next pass at all. Like he just is really watching the game. And even on defense, it seemed like the game was passing him by a lot when we didn't have the ball in possession. And like, I get that Eze has been really disappointing, but I feel like if chance creation is our big problem right now, then I think we got to take a bit of a risk and let Eze play his way into form. At least we'll have some confidence that, he can hold the ball up in tight spaces. He won't get dispossessed, can keep the ball moving at the very least, because we're just struggling with those basics right now, the way I see it. And the last thing is I would say, I know, Mateda's not great, but I don't know. From what I saw today, I'll take Mateta over Edward, to be honest.
He didn't create. Yeah, he did. He had opportunities and he didn't finish them. But that's the thing. Like even one of them, I don't have confidence. I don't have
No,
confidence.
no,
and
definitely not.
we need a new striker. We need a new striker. But we're talking about new striker now. But potentially we need a new striker when we got rid of Benteke because we only have 2 strikers. Forget about quality. And I guess it's easier to say in hindsight, but we only had 2 forwards. We only had 2 forwards going into the season. And that was from the summer. And it's an area. Plus, we haven't been scoring goals like that all season long. So yeah, it's been a very frustrating season. Very frustrating season on and off the pitch. I mean, the football ain't been great. For me, the recruitment hasn't been nowhere near good enough from what we saw last season. And yeah, we just have to build on it. But for you, before you go, are you worried about relegation?
I'm not ready to be worried yet because I think we've had, an Arsenal game included, I feel like we've had probably the hardest run of games in the Prem, like in recent weeks, I'd say.
I think
It's not even
statistically,
close. Yeah, it's not even close.
not even
So-
recent weeks. I think statistically, I'll look it up again. But statistically, I think Palace and Leicester. I don't know if we've overtook Leicester by facing Brighton, but we've had the hardest fixture list from the start
Yeah,
of
and
the season now.
our last run of games, I mean, that's going to determine everything. We should have a pretty easy schedule last run of games. So I don't know if we can play how we did the first 20 minutes, press like that, then I'm confident. But obviously, recruitment needs to be done. And I think like if we're not creating chances, I think you just got to be a bit more risk taking if you're Vieira with the lineups. I think you got to let Eze play his way into form. I know it's a controversial take, but that's how I'm feeling after I saw that performance, at least.
I don't blame you. We need a bit more creativity.
LG,
But also,
I need you to come on the host instead of D. You're much more sense than he does.
Here we go.
We didn't
No,
do
you got
host.
it.
You host, our co-host. You talk way too much sense, man. You on the show, man.
Feel free. But LG, appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Of course, yeah.
Great, cool. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you for calling. Take care. That was LG. Well, Patrick, you selling me out like that? Damn, man. Yeah, I can't.
Heartbeat, bro. Heartbeat.
I can't trust
Yo, man,
you. No
life
way,
is
man.
times are hard right now, man. I need a host that's a little bit more, along my lines of thinking. I can't help.
What? Along your lines of thinking? What? Every time I challenge you, you don't like it?
No, that's not. It's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I'm good with that.
All right.
But LG made some good points. I mean, seriously, he made some good points. I'm not being.
He did. 100%. But look, let's bring on Henry, who's been waiting for a while as well, and then afterwards we'll bring on the others that's been waiting. But if you guys want to call in and have your say, make sure to click on the pinned comment. The calls have been great tonight. Let's keep it going, and also let's smash the like button as well. Let me see how many likes we're on right now, but let's try to boost it as much as we can. Keep growing the channel. It helps the algorithm. Takes a second of your time. We're on about 80. We can 100% hit 100 likes. I got faith in you lot. We've got about 200 people near enough watching live. We can definitely hit 20 more likes. But let's bring on Henry. Henry, Brighton 1, Palace 0. Another defeat, this time at the Amex. I mean, we had shots on target, which was a positive. But other than that, another defeat. That's the most important thing. It's a results game. Very frustrating. But you're on mute before you talk. I don't want you to do that. Yeah, another defeat. What do you make of it?
Same old story, really, isn't it? Like, I feel numb. Like, I feel really numb because I feel like it's just the same. Like, building the hopes up just to get them destroyed. And it hurts even more against them. But it also hurts because we actually made chances. Which I was surprised about. Like, we actually had a couple of shots on target, I believe, which is unlike us. Like, I don't think the lineup was actually that bad. Like, I was actually looking at the lineup, and I think, apart from the keeper, I couldn't really complain. I mean, I would have liked to have seen Eze in there, but I know he's not the most consistent in performances right now. But, nah, I mean, I don't know what we have to do to score goals, like, because like their chances were on a plate and like we still couldn't score. So I don't understand what the problem, apart from lack of confidence. But like, what can you do to change that at this point? Because it's been so long since they've scored, since we've won. Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a joke, really. But it's crunch time. Like after the Arsenal game, it's crunch time because you look at that run of fixtures, and that is going to be the defining run. You know.
Yeah, today look, Joe Whitworth started. Once again, I want to say this. I thought he had a fantastic performance. If you put everything into context, the fact that he only knew this morning that he was going to start, arguably our fourth choice or fifth choice goalkeeper, and he was put in the deep end. I thought he had a very good game. What do you make of his performance? And going forward, do you think Vieira might consider potentially putting him as the number one to have things different?
Maybe, I guess, but I mean, yeah, I think he did very well. Like, I mean, what more can you ask of him, really?
Some very good saves.
I mean, when I saw him, when I heard that Guaita was injured, like, I was just like, really? Like, is it? Like, yeah. I went from very, very little hope to suddenly no hope at all, really. I was really afraid that we were going to get smashed, to be honest. It was only the one goal that we lost by, but like I think it's the difference, isn't it? Like we've played Brighton teams in the past that create loads of chances and don't score goals, and now we're the ones that don't score goals. And tonight we were the ones that created chances. Like this is a much more clinical and better Brighton team. Like unfortunately, it shows in their position in the table and the fact that they could be going to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. All they have to do is beat Grimsby. So
funny enough, we're not on the same level. We didn't have the same amount of quality in the league last season. But talking about FA Cup run, talking about good football, it kind of reminds me of a team that plays in red and blue as well. That was that had to face today. That was all last season. I don't know where that team's gone, but yeah, I miss it.
Yeah.
But for you, Henry, look, you've criticised Vieira quite a bit. Today, you did mention that we did create chances. It was only 1-0 defeat. Of course, it hurts. But for you, was you happy with the approach to the game? Because we spoke about it in our preview. Me, Patrick, it was AJ as well. We spoke about how should he approach the game. He went more attacking. Well, tried to go more attacking. He changed the lineup a bit. Maybe not to perfection, because I know some people wanted Eze. I'm not too sure if he did. But overall, was you pleased with his approach to the game?
I was pleased with this approach at the start. Second half was pretty much. Did we have any chances in the second half? I can't really.
Well, I can't remember. Anyways, well, towards the end of the game, we did.
Yeah, Alhamada had a chance that he missed at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was right at the end. One chance, yeah.
But
one chance.
Apart from that, it was just sitting back and doing nothing. So for me, like, even if we stay up, like, is that really good enough? Like, it's a bit of a it's a funny one, because part of me just feels completely like, how the hell are we going to stay up? And then the other part of me thinks, well, we've been playing all right if we can actually just get the ball in the net, because we can defend. But and it's like, we've got this run of fixtures now where potentially we could actually get results. But to get results, obviously, everyone knows you have to score goals. So yeah, we need to be much more creative and like actually have some belief when we're in front of the goal that we're actually going to score, rather than like just freeze.
Okay, I just want to ask before you go, Arsenal. That's the end. That's the end of these difficult run of games. Not that when we face Leicester, everything's going to be all nice and we're going to score 3 goals and start winning 10 games in a row. I don't think that's going to be the case. But against Arsenal, without Alhamada, not without Alhamada, without Lokonga, of course he's going to be missing because he's out on loan with us. Do you have a bit of faith? Maybe he changes approach, goes back defensively again. Also, they were fantastic against Fulham, but they also got lucky towards the Bournemouth getting a last minute winner. Look, they're the number 1 team in the league, and they should be winning the league, so it's not going to be easy regardless. But for you, any hope based on what you saw today? We just had shots on target, which was improvement.
Maybe a little bit. Like, you never know, I guess. But
Brighton's not an easy team as well. I just want to say that.
Yeah,
I know we lost against Brighton. I know we talk about Brighton and we're in a bubble with Brighton. We compete against them. But if you take away the rivalry aside, they are a side that arguably is pushing for the top 4, which sounds mental. It doesn't for me, even saying that doesn't even sound right. But they are another quality side today that we still create a few chances.
That doesn't take away the fact that we're not like showing enough fight. We're not closing them down enough. We're not winning the ball enough. We're not making chances. Like, that's the thing. It's like when you look at the results by themselves against all the teams we've played, they don't look too bad. There's been some good performances in there, but it's just because of how poor we've played that is why it's so demoralizing, really. But against Arsenal, I think we should just literally just go out, and I hope Vieira just says, listen, lads, look, just play with freedom, try your best, and if we can get anything, that's a bonus, because it's after Arsenal that's going to make or break our season. Like, there's no two ways about it now. It's after Arsenal. It's this crucial run of games that is going to determine if we are a Premier League team for next season or not.
Yeah. Look, Henry, thank you for calling into the show. Always a pleasure talking to you, bro.
You too. Cheers, guys.
All right, take care. That was Henry. Next up, we've got John, who's been waiting for a while as well. John, how you doing? Brighton 1, Palace 0.
Yeah, how you doing, fellas? Good show. Well done, lads. Keep it up. I think he's got to go. I'll be honest with you. I think the gaffer's got to go, and I'm not like a big fan of like a manhunt and wanting him to go. That's not what I'm saying. But I just think I'm looking at since January, we've scored 4 goals, we've won 0 games, and I just think that if we go into a we are in a relegation battle, but if we really go deep into the relegation battle and we're unable to score goals, and our manager is showing us that he's unable to coach the team to score goals or chances, that's the only reason why I would say I think he's got to go. And I'm not saying this with my chest. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not a manhunt, but is it not worrying you that we're going in a relegation battle and we can't score goals? That's worrying.
John, I'm looking at last year. Last year we scored 50 goals on this manager. That was the second most goals we scored in the last 10 years in the Premier League. So clearly we can score goals. Now, obviously, as Dee mentioned, he's done it quite before. We lost Gallagher. Was that 8-9 goals last season? But the majority of the players that scored last year are still here.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not about the manager. It's more about the players are performing. Wolf's down in goals. Elise's down in goals. Edouard's way down. Mateta scored 5-6 goals last year. Got 1 this season. So for me, I think we can score the goals, but it's a confidence thing for me. So maybe what you're saying is right. New manager ups the confidence. I don't think that's going to happen personally. You've only got 11 games left. We're not going to be Arsenal. I don't care what anybody says. I'd love to do it. It's never going to happen. They're going to destroy us because they're the best team in the league. I hate to admit that. I hate Arsenal personally. But for me, it's all about April, May. And I would really rather have Vieira in because of the fact that he showed last year that he could score goals. We're not leaking goals like crazy, except for, again, Fulham and Spurs. It's just the fact that, again, today, a perfect example. If we take one of those 3 chances early in the match, we get at least a point. Yeah, probably Brighton score. But we don't get that goal. And that, to me, can't be just on the manager. These players we relies on have to take the chances and score, and they're not doing it. But that's just my take. So.
But one thing I'll say to you, Patrick, to be balanced, ain't it on the manager?
Let John be balanced. Let John. He's the one that wants Vieira.
No, you don't like this. You don't like this. You won't like what I'm gonna say. You already know what's gonna happen.
Hey, Dee, if you need a new co-host, I'm here. I heard what Pat was saying earlier.
Hey, John, the amount of time I put into this, man, you're welcome to it, bruv. You're welcome to it. Seriously.
But I was gonna say, Patrick, to you, to hear your thoughts on it, and John can also answer this. But ain't it on the manager? If you're talking about players that was here last season, that were scoring goals, ain't it on the manager to get them players back up to form? Like, why are these players not scoring goals again?
I've got my reasons. What I was gonna ask, Dee. That's exactly what's in my mind. How can we go from 50 goals last season I think this season, what is it? Is it 12 goals? I think I was seeing today that we scored all round this season.
Well, we've got 9 goals in open play in about 20 odd games, which is mental. To be fair, like it's absolutely crazy. The fact that we're going into.
I have a retort for that, and I'll tell you my reply is January, February, and March's fixtures have been horrendous. That's my reply. We have never had that type of a run ever in the Premier League history. Never been that bad.
We can't get who we're playing. We're in the Premier League, you know. Whoever we get played, if we get Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham in a row, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It actually does. It really does.
No, but
matter,
these are the cards but we're in this league for a reason. So we can't use that as an excuse. If we want to use that as an excuse, then don't get promoted. Let's stay in the Championship.
No, what Dee's been saying and I've been saying is that we did not. Our board has not backed this manager. So you're in the Premier League, John. I agree. But if you don't back him and you have that kind of fixture list, what did you really expect? We could have easily lost to United twice. We got a point. Liverpool twice, got 2 points. Newcastle twice, got 2 points.
And by the way, some of those games, I just want to say, in some of those games, we had our attack with Jordan Ayew, Jeffrey Schlupp, and Mateta.
Yep. And got a point. How we getting points out of these matches?
But one thing I will say, though, is that to reply to John, I feel like based on even today, we saw it. We created a few chances against a side that is very good. Like, there's no point denying it. I don't care if it's Brighton, if it's not. They are a very good side. They are a side that's pushing for European places. And we create chances. I think our problem so far this calendar year has been the run of fixtures and Vieira's approach to it. Now, I'm not blaming him for it, but he changed the system up. I don't think many people realize this, but he changed up to a 4-2-3-1. He did go more defensive. He did try to play on the counter-attack, but of course, we didn't have any threats going on the counter. And in the run of games, we had the likes of Wilf that was out injured in some of those games. Even in the last time we faced Brighton, James Tompkins was playing defense. So we had a few players that's missing. And on top of that, the likes of Eze has been out form, which was another creative player. So the injuries and the form hasn't helped Vieira. But saying that, I feel like we've got goals in the side still. I know today we missed a few chances, but there are goals in the side. The one thing that he needs to do, and that we saw today, we had a shot on target after 50 seconds against Brighton. It didn't take us that long. The reason for that is because of our approach. It's not just on the formation, but it's how he approaches the game. We actually went high.
Are you talking about Will's shot?
Yeah, Will's shot, yeah.
That was a shot cross, man. Let's talk about serious shots, man.
Okay, but we had serious shots as well. Come on, we had a few chances today. We had a few chances today, and that was down to our, especially in the first half. Second half, it was poor once again, but in the first half, we did have a few chances, and that shows me that it's more down to the system because we didn't sit back against Brighton. When the game started, we was in control, and even up until that goal, we were the better side against Brighton. I think Brighton went in for a shock, and that's because of how he wanted the players to play out there. See, he needs to do this more often, and I feel like he will do it more often, especially against sides that's in and around us. The thing is, even before these run of games, we were conceding goals. It wasn't good. Even against Forest, it wasn't working. And he had to change it about. He did change it about, but now it's time to go back to what we like doing the most, which is pressing and trying to bring the game onto teams. Whereas, his defensive approach, it did work out technically because we did pick up some vital points, but he needs to go for it a bit more. And if he does go for it, we will create more chances. That's what I feel like anyways. But I don't know whether you agree or disagree with that.
Yeah, look, I think we do definitely need to go for it more. And personally, as I said, I don't think we can use fixtures as an excuse because, like I said, when we're coming into this league, we know that you're going to have a run of hard fixtures no matter what. It's the Premier League. There's no easy teams to play against. Palace are not an easy team to play against. So I don't buy that, But yeah, I think Vieira needs to be on the front foot a bit more. But I'm just worried. I'll be honest with you. I'm worried that the last 10 games, funny enough, I actually think that Palace will draw against Arsenal because I say if there's one thing Vieira knows how to do is defensively set up against better teams. He set up defensively. How he sets up Palace defensively, we are hard to beat. It is solid, But I say it again, when we go into the last 10 games, we've got a lot of teams that are in and around us. Them teams all have goal scorers in their team. They all look like they can score. Bar Southampton. But remember, Southampton knocked us out of the FA Cup. So I'm just, again, guys, I'm extremely worried about how we create goals and how we score. And I think it's down to the coach, because the coach, number one, has to instill confidence into the players. If it's me today with Edouard, I don't take him off. I say to Edouard, listen, unlucky, you've missed 2 chances today, but at least you got the 2 chances. You're going to get another 90 minutes on the weekend. You put your arm around him. You don't bring him on for Mateta, who hasn't had a chance in how long? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, bro. I
think Eze, as much as Eze hasn't been playing well, but on top of that, stats don't lie. He scored goals. He's created goals. He took off Elise for Jordan Ayew. Again, Elise,
He was injured.
You reckon? I don't know. Okay.
I guarantee he picked up on. I saw it. I saw when Veltman made a really bad tackle on him. From that time on, he limped the entire rest of the match. Now I didn't hear it the post match from Vieira about that, but I'm telling you right now, Elise is definitely injured. But wait, I want to clap back on one thing you were saying about other teams have goals in them. John, who has goals in them for Southampton? Everton.
No, I said Wolves, apart from Southampton.
Bournemouth. Okay, I said it again.
I said apart from Southampton.
Okay,
Wolves have goals in them.
No,
Wolves have goals in them.
They
just beat Tottenham 2-0, right?
Everton has a striker. Southampton has a striker. Bournemouth has a striker.
Everton have been winning games since Dyche
Forest has a striker.
Forest.
Half the teams I named do not have a striker.
No, but they're scoring goals though, Patrick.
Why thought you said have a striker?
No. I said scoring goals.
So again, last season, it's a great point, because last season our goals came from a person who wasn't a striker. That'd be Wilf. You had Gallagher also our second highest scorer. So you're right, but it's not about us. It's not about Edouard not scoring, because I don't care. He and Mateta aren't good enough. It has to come from Olise, from Eze, and from Wilf, because I don't care. Those strikers, I wouldn't have kept Edouard on today. To do what? Miss 2 more chances? No. Again, Mateta's not good enough. Edouard's not good enough.
I'll still start Edouard next game, though. The one thing I'll say, I'll start him next game.
Against Arsenal?
He needs a run of games.
No, I'm done with that. I remember I had the attitude before. I'm done with him after today. Sorry. I'm not. It's not fair, because I'm not going to cape for the guy when I backed up Mateta. People kill me for it. That's fine. I'm not backing either one of them. Neither one of them are any good. Neither. And if Mateta did what he did today, you guys would have killed Mateta today. Facts. So that's that.
I just think
you ain't lying.
Yeah. But I don't know, man.
Murdered for that, but that's all right. So
look, I understand that, but this is a guy that, like, Vieira's drained. He's drained Edouard. Like, I remember, Pat, the last time we spoke, you gave me the stats about how many games that Edouard was on his run of games, how many goals he scored, and he pulled him out. Like, we're all human. We all have feelings. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're draining your goal scorers and you're attacking players. And that's why I'm saying it's a worry going into these last 10 games, because if our attacking players are drained and it doesn't look like, personally, it doesn't really look like they're trusting the manager or playing for the manager. It could get even worse.
Listen,
so let me ask you this, Don. Who would you bring in? Who would you bring in if it's not Vieira?
Guys, I'll be honest with you. I don't know. And I say this, it's not our job. It's not our job to look for managers.
Yeah, I know. But normally there's like names here and there. But
I know. And that's the thing. I absolutely don't know. But I guess this is something for Dougie. This is something for the board. You look at Brighton, our rivals, and when they was down in the dirt, they went to go and find Potter. Potter left. They went to go and find.
I don't know about
They went to go and find De Zerbi or whatever his name is. You do know what I'm trying to say. So there's good coaches out there. Let's not look at the usual.
Yeah, but do you have trust in the board to find these coaches? Do you have trust in the board to find these coaches? My problem is I don't have trust. I've lost all trust until they show me something. I've lost all trust because they're one of the biggest reasons we're in this mess. They're one of the biggest reasons we're in this.
No, they are the biggest reason. Let's stop saying they are one of. Let's be fair and say right now they are the biggest.
Look at who they're coming off the bench. They have like young. It's not. I'm not gonna talk about the academy because the academy just started. But they have youngsters. They have. They've got the whole squad set up. Our squad. So who do we have coming off the bench? Jordan Ayew, like Mateta. I mean, Joe Ward will come off for Nathaniel Klein if that's the solution. If Tariq Mitchell goes out injured, there isn't a left back.
No one.
I mean,
what's wrong with Ferguson?
These are problems that we've had from the start, and that's why, for me, I've lost trust. Even people have said that as well. There was a rumor that's coming out saying that Zaha, we're willing to offer him around 170,000 to 200K
Let him go.
a week, and people
Let
are
him
saying
go.
that let's let him go. But for me, I don't want to let him go because I don't have trust in these lot to replace him properly. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. I feel like they'll go with the cheaper route. We spent the least the whole season. I don't know. But it's a dilemma. It's hard. I don't think there's a straightforward answer out there. But if there is, then yeah, go ahead and let's go for it. But for me, then it's regardless of what happens, I don't care how good a manager is. If De Zerbi's at Palace right now, I don't think they're playing as they are as they are right now. I think if we swap positions and he had our players, I don't think we're playing as good as they are. Because
but I think we'll be playing. But I think we'll be playing better than we are now. I think he will definitely improve. I say it, guys. Our style. We have no style of play going forward. Absolutely zero. No identity going forward. It looks like Vieira says, "Go on, guys. Go on the pitch and just do your thing." There's no pattern of plays. Even if you look at their goal today, yeah, McAllister took the holding player out. Striker makes a different run. Solly March makes a run between the defenders. It's the opposite winger that plays him through. These are things that you can see that are worked on in the training ground. And I said this last time. Where is the coaching? Where is our attacking drills? Does it look like we have any form of attacking play or attacking drills or anything that shows rhythm and shows continuing it? You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. It doesn't. We don't see anything. We don't see it.
I also think we overrate our players, though, John. Our players aren't that good. We overrate our players. We just do. Yeah, Wolf is a good player, but he's coming to the end of his time because he's 30. Edward came from the Scottish Premier League, hasn't done much. Olise is a kid. I really have a problem kidding Olise, and I've done it in the past, but he's still very young. He's got a lot to learn. Eze also came from Championship. I love him technically, but today he tried to flick the ball.
They're the only ones that
right. Gay and Anderson, 100%. Now and Decore, when he's not losing head making these stupid tackles.
Oh my days.
Decore is class, all right. But we overrate a lot of our players. And D makes a great point. When you look at the bench in the beginning of Mateta, Ayew, Sharpie was on the bench, Wardy. Bring on Chris Richards because he's a good defender. I mean, I'm talking. It's ridiculous. And that's on the board. It's not on the manager. I mean, what's that phrase? You can't make whatever. I'm not going to even say it on the thing, but
But I said it again. Our young players who are attacking minded, we sent them out on loan.
But who makes some decisions? That's the thing. I don't know.
I think
we got a sport director. We got a loan manager. That's Mark Bright. So yeah, I mean, there's a few people involved. I don't think it's just Vieira. Honestly, I don't know. It's a hard situation. It's a hard situation. Them young players as well. Would they make that much of an impact?
We never know, innit? It's one of those things you never know. But
that's the problem, though, John. We don't know what's going on.
Young, you've got something to prove. Even if it's look at Macheda for Manchester United. I'm using him because he was a flop, yeah. But I'm saying he came on and he wanted to prove something, and he got a goal that Manchester United fans will never forget for the rest of his life, for the rest of their life, just because he wanted to prove something. And when you're young, sometimes you have that. You've had Leeds have done that. Bielsa did that with that short, stocky kid that played number 10 last season, that wore number 10. Like, I'm just saying, you got to try and, when you don't have a big squad, you just got to try and use what you've got. Do you know what I mean? But
no further. Look at Whitworth today. Would any of us have thought Whitworth could go to Brighton and give up one goal today? Look at Whitworth. He's 19, and he threw him in there, and look how well he played today.
Solid.
So you're right. Yeah. So you could have thrown Raksak if he was around today. You could have thrown Eboué out there if he was around today.
What about Raksak? I said it.
Teo Adamarola, Killian Phillips. I'll keep going. You can put today. Who knows how they would have played? You don't know, or you don't give him a chance.
I'll be honest. If we had Raksak, I don't think he's still playing over Jordan. I think that's the problem. That's one of the biggest.
No, Vieira.
He needs to lose his trust for some of these players. I think.
I understand.
We're losing 1-0, and Elise is out injured, but Jordan is coming on. I mean, the guy he's never been a goal scorer or a guy that can get it like that. I mean, what are we expecting? Do you get it? It makes us so one-sided. They can leave literally Jordan Ayew out there and just focus on Wilf because it's so easy. They know that nothing's going to come down the right-hand side. But look, John, really appreciate your call, bro. There are some people that's waiting.
John, great call.
Nice one, lads.
Take care, bro.
Cheers, bye.
All right, mate.
That was John. Let's bring on Sam. He's been waiting for a while as well. Sam, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, lads. How you guys doing?
Frustrated.
Terribly,
I can hear it in your voice. You sound frustrated as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Another defeat. This time to Brighton. That hurts a bit more, but you know, I'm trying to find positives. We had shots on target, I guess, but still not good enough. If you look at the 9 minutes,
It's hard.
the first half was the first half was okay up until we conceded that goal. But the second half, we had nothing. And just to put it out there, I was looking at it earlier on in the show whilst people were talking. Joe Whitworth had more touches than Zaha today. I think that's pretty much sums up.
49 to 40,
really.
I looked it up. Yeah, 49 to 46 it was. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I'd say is big up Joe Whitworth, man. He was quality. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's come on. You know, it's a difficult situation that he's in because Guire's, you know, he's out. I don't know why. I don't know if he's injured or he just couldn't make it or whatever. But he come on. He's took it in his stride. And he did the best he could, and he's probably the only one, in my opinion, that can walk out of that game with his head held high. But it's tough at the minute, man. I don't really know what to think. I've backed Vieira since he's been here, but it's just a really weird situation because it's gone so downhill so quickly. It's the weirdest thing ever. You know, I look at when we lost to Spurs and Fulham. You know, we conceded 7 goals in 2 games, and I think that was when he sort of thought, you know what, we need to change this. So we went back to basics. We solidified the defence a bit more, and then it's just going forward. We got nothing. Do you know what I mean? They get up the top of the pitch and then they just go backwards. So it's a bit weird. Now I thought I'd just come on and sort of talk about it because I tweet a lot on Twitter about it all, and it's a weird one, man. I mean, it's just tough. I mean, I go to Palace as much as I can at the minute, but I just feel like I go there for socialising. Do you know what I mean? I'll just go there and try and enjoy it for just, you know, going to see people and have a drink and that because I'll get in there and then.
That's the thing, though. Like, some people I'm seeing on Twitter, some people they don't want to go. They're like, what's the point? We're not scoring goals. The football's boring, but apart from literally socializing, that's the best element right now. The results ain't great. But look, I agree with your frustrations. And sometimes you just have to come on there. Even Patrick will back me up on this. I'm not that I change on purpose, but I'm a different guy to before the show starts till when the show starts because I can't have my biases.
He's a madman. Before I have to take him off the ledge before every show, so don't let him lie.
You have to let it out sometimes. You just have to let it out. You just have to talk it out and just let your feelings know. But I have to try to stay as neutral as possible here. Even though I have my own opinions, I have to because I can't force a Vieira out or Vieira in. Even though sometimes it might feel like it, some people might feel like that because, you know, I'm hosting it. So there's going to be lots of different opinions, lots of about the manager, about the subs, about the players. So yeah, it's annoying. Sometimes you just have to come on there and say it. But for you, in terms of the players today, I mentioned the likes of Wilf, who didn't have that many touches and going forward in the second half. What do you think it was? Do you think Brighton just changed up in the second half? Or do you think the players' heads dropped? Why did you struggle so much?
I don't know. They just sort of forget what to do. They just sort
That's
of.
That's not a good thing, though. Like, why do we forget what to do? It just doesn't make any sense for me. I personally feel like when you look at the first half performance and before we conceded that goal, this side has got it in them to create more chances. They definitely do.
Yeah.
I think we was the better side until we conceded that goal. But the confidence is just so low right now that as soon as we concede a goal, it's just heads down. It's over again. It's like, oh, we're going to lose again. I feel like we overthink it, and teams have us figured out. And I think that's a massive problem. You need to have the confidence back in these players. But I don't know how Vieira can do it with Arsenal coming up next. That's not going to be any easier.
No, I mean, Arsenal for me is it's one of them games. It's just you just got to try and get through it. I'm trying not to think about it. It's just like, do you know what? That game's there. It's done now. It's over with. Let's just get onto the international break and all that. But I don't know what's going to happen now because I think, you know, there's a lot of reports about Vieira going and things like that. And I said this on Twitter, you know, if you're going to get rid of Vieira, you've got to do it now, in my opinion, because there's not many games left till the end of the season. You know, and when a new manager comes in, they need games to get their philosophy in. get their players to adapt to the style that he wants them to play, whoever that may be. But I think if you're going to bring him in, you've got to do it now, because I think if you're not going to do it, you might as well keep Vieira till the end of the season, because they're not going to have enough games to get the players to play they want to. And you know, we've got a lot of, I wouldn't say, you know, as John said, you know, every game, the Premier League's best league in the world because no game's easy. Do you know what I mean? Every team in there gives anyone a great game. But it's like we've got a good run of games to try and pick up points. And, you know, if we don't get rid of Vieira, I'm not saying we should, but if we don't and then we lose against Leicester, then what do we do? Do you know what I mean? It's going to be back to square one of just, we're all going to, you know, be gutted. We're going to be, you know, raging at Vieira for doing this, for doing that. And, you know, I went to the game against City. We didn't play bad. I felt a bit gutted that we come away with no points, to be honest. I thought we could have got a point. But it's just silly decisions, I think, at the minute. I think he's lost the dressing room, unfortunately, Vieira, at the minute. I do think he's lost the dressing room because I just don't, you know, on the players on the pitch, it doesn't look like they want to fight for the badge in a minute. Do you know what I mean? Brighton is, I've been a Palace fan since I was a kid. You know what I mean? I'm only 18. I'm young. I haven't been going Palace a long old time, but I'm very passionate about Palace. Ask anyone about that. And Brighton's one of the biggest games of the season. Every time that comes around, you've got to be up for it. You have to be
regardless
up for that
of
game.
form. That's the thing. That's what we've been saying all this time. Because when it's Brighton, it doesn't matter about form. We always seem to turn up and get a result. Today, for the first time in a few years, we just didn't get any result, and it's quite easy towards the end. It's quite easy, especially in the second half, which is the
Sorry,
thing.
D. Sorry, yeah. Sam. You said you're 18.
Yeah, man.
You've never seen Palace relegated, have you? Never.
No, this is what I'm trying. This is what I'm saying. I haven't seen Palace.
Mate, mate. Let me tell you something. I'm a lot older than you. Welcome to the roller coaster, seriously, because you have no idea what's in front of you, mate. No idea at all.
Listen to Patrick. Patrick's only about 3 years older than you. Don't listen to him. Patrick's only 3 years older than you.
I tell you what.
He's trying to style it out.
Never seen Palace relegated. Wow.
I haven't been through the tough times. Do you know what I mean? I saw us coming into the Championship. We almost went into administration, and then and then we got promoted, and then we've been in the Premier League ever since. That's what it's been for me.
The best of times for sure.
Yeah, but then Patrick, the another thing is, I'm not that older than you. I'm only 22. So
than me.
So, yeah.
Really?
No, not you. I'm talking about me. You're not 22. Trust me about that. You have to add another 40 to that. Yeah.
Oi.
But just because I feel like there's a confusion, but I don't know what's the right word. But I hear what you're saying, Patrick. Like, we haven't seen the tough times like you have. But then again, it might be a bit harder for you to understand what we're going through as well.
No. Stop with your long soliloquy. Stop it now. That's not my point. My point is that, listen, big up to Sam. You know, I'm not putting him down if he hasn't seen it. I'm saying that.
It's your fault, Sam. Why not?
We're Crystal Palace. We're not Manchester City. We're not Chelsea. We're not Tottenham and Arsenal. And this is what Palace. This is the best it's ever been. I'm not saying this is the best it's ever been. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that in a good or bad way. I'm just saying that. I wish I was 18. Honestly, I wish I was, because that's the best Palace ever been in this. And 18 years of life, Palace have never been again. That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. I've seen 7 of them. And 7 promotions. One thing I'll say, you're saying this is the best we've been in terms of the wider context of things. I 100% understand it, but if you look at the short term and talking about the Vieira era, this is probably the worst. Not today and not probably. Now. This is the worst it's been. And the reason why it's been the worst is because there's a mixture of things. I don't know if you agree with me, Sam, but investment. Now, this is a big problem. I said it when Vieira first joined. I said it that it won't only take one season, because as you said, Patrick, we're not City, we're not Chelsea, we don't have 500 million pounds to spend, and we can't bring in the top quality players. I understand it's going to take a while, but there's also no excuse for us to take a step back in terms of building a squad like we did this year as well. I expected we needed way more signings than we had this year. We made some good signings. Richards was solid, Decore was solid, Lokonga out on loan was solid, but it wasn't enough. We got rid of Gallagher, we got rid of Piatti.
We need a new right back. We got rid of Benteke. I know people don't rate him, but that was still another option off the bench as a striker. We only have now 2 strikers. We don't have a capable right back. We needed to buy and spend more than we did. We spent the least in the entire Premier League. And for me, that's where the frustration comes from. If you're going to hire a new manager like Patrick Vieira, and have a season like you, and have a window like we did in the first summer, and then completely let go and pretend that was it, that's just foolish. I mean, we needed more players, and we didn't strengthen, and that's where the frustration comes from. Because you get rid of Vieira, we bring in a new manager, we stay up, fair enough. But then if we have another year or another summer window where we spend big, and then the following summer we don't spend enough, where we have to keep improving, it's not good enough. And the bigger picture is the American owners. So Harrison Blitzer, they want out. They're clearly not interested. John Textor, I don't know what he's doing with his multi-club model. I honestly don't. I don't know how it's going to work out. And Steve Parish, I don't know. Like I don't know. There was a caller last week, Cara, who mentioned it, and he said that Steve Parish, you know, if we talk about a manager, but Steve Parish, we've been here for about 10 years, and we haven't been able to take that step forward and move on to the next level. When we look about him, we mentioned about the new stand, which hasn't been complete, and you know, we haven't invested in the squad. For me, there's a massive question mark over the board. Are they good enough or capable enough, or did have enough belief in the whole football club to take us to the next level? I'm not too sure. I'm not, because I think the majority, even if you exclude Parish out of that, I think the American owners, I don't know what they're thinking about. I mean, Texas spent more on Lyon than Palace. Why would he care more about Palace than Lyon? He spent more of his money there. And then you got Harrison Blitzer, who's interested in buying a top club. They don't want to spend money. Like, there's bigger problems than Vieira. There is bigger problems than Vieira. I'm not saying Vieira is, you can't excuse Vieira for how we're playing or the results, because he's a manager at the end of the day, and we still got some good players. But we need to spend. Without spending, we're going to be stuck here, and that's where the frustration lies. But for you, look, Sam, I had my little rant once again. I can't stop it. But look, looking ahead to the Arsenal game, that's it. That's before the easier run of games. We've got Arsenal coming up. Do you have faith that they will keep Vieira? Because there's been talks that Vieira could potentially get sacked after this game. I mean, there's been credible sources that's come out and said that the board are looking at Vieira's situation, and it came out before this game. So clearly they're frustrated. But do you think losing the Arsenal game, losing this game, it could be it for him? But I think that's a bit harsh, though. I mean, Arsenal, they're top of the league, so I don't know what we really expect. But do you think it's getting closer and closer to Vieira actually getting a sack?
I mean, there's a massive divide in a minute between the players and the fans, I think. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there are a lot of fans, disagreeing with each other. Do you know what I mean? This is probably the most divided I've seen Palace. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we all unite as much as possible, and that's why we're known for being such great fans, is because we unite and we get behind our team 100%, and it's just fading at the minute. Do you know what? I just feel that, as I said earlier, I think if you're going to get rid of him, you've got to do it now. Because I think if you don't do it and you allow him to have them run of games and say we don't get a lot of points, and then we're really in it, then that was you've delayed the inevitable. Because I just think, I'm not saying that international break, I'm not saying that whoever comes in can completely change the way the team plays or whatever, but it just gives that time for that new manager to sit down, get to know his players, and change things. And I just, we've had a tough run of games, but it isn't an excuse. It isn't an excuse. We've picked up some decent points, but it's tough at the minute. I don't know. I would love Vieira to stay, obviously, purely because I'd have faith in him to turn it around. But it's very hard to see at the minute because, I'm not sure if Elise was injured. I know, Patrick, you said he was injured, that's fine. That's fair enough. But even if he wasn't, bringing him off Ayew, I mean, Ayew's not the most loved person at the club right now by a lot of people.
Yeah. Especially when you're 1-0 down. Let's just say that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, again, that just, as you said, with investment, do you know what I mean? This is where I cut a lot of slack on Vieira, because I think You know, we spent big. We brought Mark Gahey in, Elise. I think people like that, Anderson. We did well. That was a good window, and we had a good first season. We did well, really, really good first season under Vieira. And I think if you look at a lot of clubs, when you're doing a rebuild, you need to keep that going, because we had to get rid of a lot of players. You know, that was a full lineup that we got rid of. You know, out of contract, I think it was, or whatever. There was players out of contract. Do you know what I mean? That's 11 players out of contract. You got rid of the majority of them. You got to replace them, and then you got to add depth to it. You did that. You can't sit back and just think, you know what, we did our bit. Let's just sit back and see what he does, because the football world, unfortunately, is just money based. So every player costs more than what they should. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it is. And in order to stay in the game, especially in the Prem, you've got to spend money. You have to spend money, and it's been a story. I mean, even under Hodgson, they didn't want to spend any money. Do you know what I mean? They barely spent anything. I think Eze was the only decent signing that I saw under Hodgson, really. So it's tough, but they, you know, as I say, Vieira was crying out this whole season for signings from the summer and January.
No, Vieira,
you know, I think
us as well as a fan base. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. Everyone knows what we need. Like, cool, there might be a bit of disagreement in certain positions, and maybe some people might say, "Oh, we don't need another left winger. We got enough." I don't know. I'm just saying, but I think as a fan base, majority of the people know we need a new right back. I think Dougie Friedman knows this. I think Steve Parish knows this. So why haven't we signed a right back? Why are we still talking about Wan-Bissaka's replacement in 2023? He left like 3 years ago. Why are we talking about this? And that's when I go back to the board and think, like, cool, you brought in some very good players. Don't get me wrong. I think Gahey, Anderson, very good signings, but you can't. We need to do more. We've lacked investment for a very long time. One good window doesn't mean everything's going to be fine. That was a good start, and this is what I'm thinking anyways. If Vieira had one good window, and then we started playing some very good football, good cup run, scoring goals. I think Patrick said that is the second highest goals we've scored since we got promoted, right?
It is 50 versus 51 in 2018-19.
Oh,
exactly.
So but even then, even then, we didn't have. Remember, this first year last year we had a positive goal difference. Remember, even though the year before it was always negative goal differences. So
yeah.
And exactly, and if that's the case, after we spent money, then why didn't we back him? And that's what I'm thinking. If we do back him in the summer, I'd rather just go with a manager that's done it when we're given the money. But that's the problem. Do they have the money? Do they want to spend the money? I mean, what's the best interest? And if they don't, then forget about Vieira. We could get relegated next season, 100%. If it's another mediocre window, we need to bring in players, and we need to bring them in fast. And don't wait till the last day of the summer window. We need to get it going, because this squad needs investment sooner rather than later. We can't go into next season with Jordan Ayew starting all these amounts of games. Like, Jordan Ayew should be third choice or fourth choice coming off the bench. Like, we can't be doing this. It's going to be like 2023, 2024.
The thing is that. Oh, damn it! I had a point. I forgot what I was going to say. The thing is that, this is it. If a new manager does come in, say, he's going to have the same problem. Do you know what I mean? With money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think in the short term, it might work out, because he might get the best out of the players that we've got right now, new manager mounts and all of that. But in the long term, I think it'll be the same situation. I agree with.
Yeah,
Sam,
completely.
Money wise, you've nailed it. Did they back Hodgson when he was there?
No.
You never back Hodgson, right? So why would they? You know what I'm saying? We tried to back Vic. We figured, he had a project. He also had a project, younger manager. He'll attract different kind of players. But we didn't back Hodgson. We went back to manager since Sam Allardyce.
Exactly.
So it's ridiculous.
But I cut him slack for that, though. I cut him slack for the Hodgson era.
No, I agree. I'm just saying.
I'll be honest. I didn't want Hodgson.
I didn't want him back either, honestly.
But then again, if that's the case, if you wanted to save your money and not back managers in the past like that, now is the time to do it.
We've
been here for 10 years. Look, there is no excuse. People, I even said it myself. Oh, cash. Do we have enough cash? We've got 3 owners. 3 owners. One of them owns multi clubs. Clearly, he must have a bit of money. The other one, they're billionaires. Harris and Blitzer are billionaires. They own the NBA team. They got an NFL team. they bought football clubs as well, which people don't
Hockey.
talk about. But in other countries, them they do have the money. But do they want to spend that money on Palace?
No, they're not interested.
I'm not too sure. I think they're treating it as an investment, which is it's not going to work out, especially in league now, which is filled with money and people just trying to get one over each other. With billionaires just spending their money, it's not going to work out that model in the Premier League. You have to spend more than we did at least this season as well. We ranked 20th in the league for money spent.
Exactly.
It's not just spend the money for the sake of it. I'm not saying spend 100 million. It's spend the money because we need to bring in players, which we didn't do.
Oh mate, I couldn't agree more. You know, I mean, just from now to the end of the season, I'm just going to try and stay as positive as possible. Hopefully, we can get 3 points. Hopefully, we can score a goal. Maybe that'll bring joy.
We've got the shots on target.
Exactly.
Now time to get a goal.
Exactly. You know, last season it was conceding goals from set pieces. Now we can't score goals.
Exactly.
So,
Sam, man, we scored in Brentford, mate. What are you complaining about? It was about 3 matches ago.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah, it doesn't feel like
you're not wrong. You caught me there.
What are you talking about? We scored 3 matches ago. Come on.
It doesn't. I'll be honest. It does not feel like it. It feels like we haven't scored a goal in like years. Forget about months and years. I can't remember the last time. Yeah, we've had like a positive performance where we've like scored like more than. When's the last time we scored more than 1 goal? That's a question.
Bournemouth 2-0. Remember?
That was about
the last win.
December.
I mean, that was the last win.
That was on Boxing Day,
win.
right?
I can't forget that one. That's easy to remember.
That was on Boxing Day. Damn.
No, New Year's Eve.
We're going towards April. New
Year's
Eve.
last
Okay.
year.
Last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's not good enough. But look, Sam, we kept you on for a while. Just quickly before you go, I know you're a bit upset. I can hear it in your voice as well. But Arsenal, any hope?
You got to go in there with hope. As always, you never know what can happen. It's the Premier League. It's the best league in the world. You don't know. We are good at getting results against big teams, but the way we're going, it's not likely. But in all honesty, I think we'll lose. We will lose. But I just want to try and get past it. Do you know what I mean? Just sort of try and just, we're going to lose. Let's forget about it. Move on and see what happens in international break. See if anything changes and bring on the next easy games, as they call them. And let's see what happens.
Easier. Let's just say that. Not easy.
Sam.
Easier games.
Sam.
It's not going to be
easy. Fantastic call, mate. Really appreciate you tuning in and
cheers,
coming on.
No
but also, man, listen, man, trust me when I say you've got the good times ahead of you, man. So hang in there.
Don't listen to Patrick, but yeah.
Shut up, D.
And then you'll be happy.
Cheers,
but look, anytime, Sam, you wanna come on and have your say, feel free.
Yeah, I will. No worries, man. Cheers.
Take care.
All right, then. Take care.
So, D, I don't want to share all of his comments because you'll get upset, but I want to share the comments that the manager made about.
No. Hold up. Patrick, one thing that I do say here, and I say it constantly,
is what?
We're not picking and choosing. Just say whatever comments that he's made, and we'll make our judgment based on that.
It's very long, though. That's why. It's long. You sure?
Okay. Well,
you sure?
Go ahead. I don't know. Does the chat want to hear Vera's comments? Do you guys want to hear it? Thumbs up.
Right,
yes,
I'll read it. When you look at all the aspects of the game, the way that we were organized, the discipline we had, how aggressive we were, I was pleased with that. I think we defended well and managed to win the ball in some really important parts of the field. But what let us down was the offensive play. Not taking the opportunities we created let us down today. The difference between the two teams was that they had one shot and managed to score. We had a lot of opportunities. We had chances, but we didn't score. This was the issue for us. It's not about showing more positivity. It's about showing the ingredients you need to compete and to win football matches. The players worked hard and worked well, and we had those opportunities. The difference between the two teams is they took their chances and we didn't. That is the frustration I have because parts of the game, the team, the players did well. We decided to press higher and showed a lot of positivity in the game. But again, not scoring those goals, not making those right decisions in an important part of the game and part of the field let us down. This is the biggest frustration of tonight. I am concerned about scoring goals. When I look at the team's performance today and look at the work ethic and our organization and how the players executed our plan, I was pleased with that. The worry I have is when you create those chances and you don't take them, we have to score those goals. Our front players have to change their mindset. We have to be more aggressive going forward and in the last third. Okay.
I'm not upset.
So
about
and
that.
then
Well, why do you think I'll be upset about that?
no, I just thought about the comments about us having you know what? Actually, looking at my video, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I don't, my fault. I shouldn't think for you. I should say you're right. Just let it all go. So on Joe Whitworth, which some really nice words. It happened really quickly for him, but Joe was a really strong personality. Has a very strong personality. Had the self-belief, the calmness that allowed him to perform the way he did today. He showed a lot of good things, and it's even more special because he's a young player who came through the academy. And to play his first game at professional level in a tough place was good for him. But we couldn't give him the win that would have been perfect evening for him. The message came from Dino, the goalkeeping coach. We let him Whitworth know this morning he was going to start, and the message to him was be yourself. He's been with us for a couple of months now, training with the first team, and he understands the pressure and he understands the game really well. And today he looked really calm, really composed, and he made a lot of good decisions. For a first senior game, there was a lot of positives. I'm disappointed for him because we couldn't get him the win, but the future looks very good for him. So there's a madness thing. So really positive about Whitworth, which he deserved it. And then obviously what we talked about the whole show. We had chances, we didn't take the chances. We got to be better. We put it on the forward play, which he's right about. He tried to press. We agreed about that. But again, great. Everybody said it. Sam said it. John said it. Once we let the goal in, our whole game plan went out the window because we didn't play as well. We score that goal. We can keep pressing them, turning them over, high up the pitch, maybe get a second goal, possibly a third. But we cannot fall behind. And again, our defense had to be perfect every match. Gahey was very good today, except for one moment when he let March run past him. We can't allow that. It's like we can't allow a penalty by Elise or a red card by Decore or an old goal by Anderson. Our margins, they are so very, very fine that they're impossible. Do you know what I mean? You can't play football and not give up a goal and expect to win because at some point you have to score a goal. You know what I mean? And that just makes it too difficult for us. That's why it's just not good enough. So
yeah, I agree. I'm gonna put up a poll. I just want to get the general
1 hour and 46 minutes in. You put up a poll now. All right, put it up.
I'm gonna put a poll now. I didn't have the time before, but anyway, let's see what people say. Just quickly, just vote. But it's about Vieira. I just want to see general feeling about what people think about Vieira. Are they Vieira in or out? And if you're sitting on the fence, just try to lean one side or another. Let us know how exactly you're feeling. I want to quickly see the general situation about that. But Patrick, another thing, we haven't really been able to speak about the game like that. But one thing I'll say is quickly, let's get this out of the way. I think as much as I'm hurt right now about the performance, maybe the result, I'm happy I'm not a Brighton fan. There is that. I just wanna reiterate that.
But why that is
because
that shot at them because of the
one thing I'll say,
one
thing I'll say is as much as we need new signings and this and that, bro, that's a massive game. It's a rivalry game, and I was just seeing I was seeing tourists there. You could tell there was no atmosphere. You get it?
So okay. I'll
be honest. Up until this game, you get a rivalry. You get it, right? But then when the game actually happens and when you actually look at things as it is, you can tell why they are the cringiest club in the whole Premier League.
Okay. And that's fair, and that's your opinion. But on the pitch, they're not cringy.
No. On the pitch, it's different.
Okay.
As a football club,
I don't care about their supporters, man. Their supporters are their supporters.
We
got a couple of them in our chat. I see trying to stir it up in our chat. So that's fine. I don't mean they can do whatever they want. But no, I mean, but as a football club, as far as playing football and performance and place in the table, I can't argue that. By the way, we're still 12th. By the way, don't know how. Again. We might actually get through March and still be 12th, which would be we might be 1 point off the bottom, but we might be 12th place, which is absolutely madness. We're still 12th. How is that possible? We're still 12th.
But I just had to say that because you don't realize it till the game's happening. But even the atmosphere, it was genuinely shocking. Now I realize why they are extremely cringe. It's an extremely cringe football club. Supporting Brighton /Arsenal /Chelsea. That's God forbid that was Palace. But surprisingly,
What's that?
Surprisingly, you know, expected goals today.
I mean, I have to look at it. I would say ours has to be higher than theirs today. Had to be. Right?
Yeah, we double. So 0.60 for Brighton, 1.20 for Palace.
Yeah.
Do you think it was just a case of missing them first half chances because in the second half we didn't really play that much?
I can't say it enough. Edward had 2 great chances. Olise, because I think I actually mixed them up. Olise had the 1-on-1, right, and it got saved. It wasn't Edward. Edward had a shot from Zaha. It wasn't a 1-on-1, right? It was Olise had a 1-on-1 with the keeper and still made that great save, right? So it was Edward, Olise, Edward, and then Ahmad's class at the end. I mean, he's a kid, and it was a snap chance, but he had the ball in the box, just like he did against Brentford, actually, and he put it. But I mean, again, he's only 20 years old, but that's a chance he has to bury. You know what I mean? So we had those are 4 that I can remember. I don't remember any more, but those, and I think Wiltshire. I know John called it a shot cross, but it still missed a ball. That's going in the net. That's a goal in the first minute. I mean, it's still not at that front post. He's going to score.
That one was shot cross all you want. Only had an expected goal of 0.06.
Right, bro. So we've made like 1 good save all match. I mean, that one was it from the header. He made a really good save. He made 1 good kick save also, I remember.
Okay, I have to bring you up on this because in our chat, private chat, we spoke about this, and actually not in our private chat, we spoke about this in preview. We spoke about it in preview, and you said that if Vieira does go for it, it will open up and we'll concede 2-3 goals. Today he did kind of go for it.
No, that didn't happen. He did not go for it. He just pressed high, which everybody in the league does.
Yeah, but press higher, and he has
the more playing 4-4-2, 2 strikers, wingers, and get the ball in the box. That's going for it. Or playing 3 in the back.
It wasn't a 4-2-3-1 of 2 players sitting back.
No,
he did go for
it
it more
change
than,
the formation.
More than he did before. There were gaps open, but it didn't really cost us as much. Do you think this is a case of now we should keep with this model? Because end of the day, Patrick, you're not going to win games if you don't have shots on target.
No.
Today we did have shots on target. We had a better XG than Brighton, a side that is top quality in terms of on the pitch. They are playing well. They're chasing European football, and that's because he changed up. He went for it.
No, I agree. No, he went. No. Forget that last part of the sentence. Get rid of that. He changed it up, which was good, and he pressed. He did not go for it. I'm never gonna agree on that. But should he try the same thing going forward? I agree with you. Yes, but he did not go for it. We had like 3 chances on goal in the first half, and we had like 1 in the second half. That's not going for it. Going for it's like having 15 shots and getting counterattacked like crazy, which Brighton wasn't able to do because we had Doucouré sitting in front of our back 4. But was it more like the pass I want to see? 100%. But we hardly went for it today. And by the way, go back to the previous show. I said Brighton 1-0. I don't know how I got it right, but I did. I don't know how I got it right, but I did. So just saying that, whatever. You talking about the previous show.
And look, there's gonna be a quick turnaround, of course, for the Arsenal game as well. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.
Yes, hit the like, man. We've done a 2-hour show, longest show in history, like coming up right now.
Exactly, longest show in history, talking about that defeat.
Disaster.
Funny enough.
Disaster.
But yeah, there's gonna be preview out for the Arsenal game. We're gonna be working hard over the next few days before the international break. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe. Patrick is, I don't know why he's doing this.
The working hard part, man. I'm done. I'm taking a break. I need a break.
Oh, bro, but you know I am. Behind the scenes, this requires a lot of work.
You're so much younger than me. You're younger than my 2 kids, bro.
Yeah, I know, but even sometimes you say like, what are you doing? It's like 3 a.m. and I'm working.
I do say that. Yeah, you are mad. You're mad. Your schedule's a mad schedule. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, we're putting in the work. I wanna keep growing the channel. I want to grow the channel with you guys as well. Because I want everyone to have their say. I don't care if you're Vieira in, Vieira out, Parish in, Parish out, Steve Bruce in. I don't care. Let's I want everyone to come on here, have their say. Let us know what they think about Palace and
Steve Bruce in? That person getting banned from the channel. Who said Steve Bruce in? That better be a slip of the tongue. Seriously, no one better be saying Steve Bruce in the chat. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, if you do say that, I might bring you up on that. Well,
you might be getting blocked. Bring you up on that. I'll take Bielsa in, even though I've already said it doesn't make sense. I'll take Jesse Marsh in. I'll even take Pochettino in. You put Steve Bruce in the chat, you're out of here. You're getting blocked.
My point is like, come on here, have your say. You get it?
Oh, AY, you're trying to be funny, right? Yo, brother. No, hold on. Where is it? I see that, man. Don't be funny. I will block you. I have the power. Don't test me, bro. Don't test me.
You know this is good because now lots of people are gonna say see Bruce in. But yeah, that's how it works for social media. But quickly,
before the manager, why would be Patrick? He's the manager already. Why would Patrick? He's already the manager. I don't understand. I'm confused. He's already the manager, Patrick. I don't get it. Trademark. What are you talking about? I don't get it.
It's okay. It's frustrating. Look, let's wrap this up because we've got another show to record. And I'm hungry. I still haven't had dinner. Forget about dinner.
Thunder Road. Wait. Time out. Thunder Road, bro. Let me tell you something. You're a great in the chat, bigging us up about get the likes up. But bro,
yeah, I love Thunder, man.
Steve Bruce, Neil Lennon, and Lucian Favre, bro. I'm about to block you, bro.
But Thunder, no, Thunder is great. It's great that you just.
I'm about to block you.
No, you keep the chat going. Just keep with the chat going and let go of your football opinions because football-wise, I don't know if that will help. Just keep moderating the chat. Steve Bruce, along with Neil Lennon.
Yo, bro, Trey, I was messing with you, bro. I know what you meant, Trey. I'm just messing with you, bro. I know.
Nah, exactly.
I'll take the job. I'll take the job. I'll be obvious to get us relegated.
We all love you back to the nest, bro. We all love you back to the nest. You're a cool guy. You're a cool guy. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, look, let's wrap this up, Patrick. Any other things that you want to say?
I'm gonna pray for us against Arsenal because I watched them play against Fulham and they toyed with Fulham and Fulham's much better than us. I really fear for the game on Sunday. But good news is I'm not watching it. I'm going to play football myself. I'm not going to watch it. So we might win.
Well, you are going to watch it, but second half.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I'd say, you know what? If I don't watch, maybe we'll win a game. I'm trying to change our juju or judge. We got bad judge on this channel.
Who's done juju? I swear there is a guy on the chat that keeps saying, I don't know if he's here right now, but he pops up in the channel and he keeps saying, sign me. Like he's genuinely serious that he wants Palace to sign him. And he always says, until Palace sign me, they're going to be rubbish. There's a guy called Kevin. I don't know if it's Kevin's. I don't know if
it right?
Are
you here to Kevin? Let me just get your details. Serious.
One time I replied to him and he's like, I think I'm joking, but I'm deadly serious. Like, you guys have to sign me. If you don't sign me, you're not going to be successful. So I don't know what Kevin's done to this football club, but Kevin, bro, please. Sign for Brighton, please. We're not going to sign you. Let go of it. Let go of it. You want to join a bigger? You want to join a better club? You want to join a better club? Go on Brighton and do that judge on them, or whatever you're doing. Because I think it's Kevin's fault, man. Because honestly, he gets onto us. He always says, "Hey, yeah, see, that's the one, Fonda, Kevin K. That's the one."
Oh, is that the one? Yeah. Is he in the chat right now?
I don't think he's in the chat right now, but he came in earlier.
Kevin, jump on the channel, man. Let's talk to you. Come on.
Bro, he doesn't want to talk about football. He wants Palace. Okay. He thinks that I own Palace. I don't own Palace. I can't make you sign for Palace. Like, it can't happen. It can't happen. But yeah, look. Hopefully, Palace sign Kevin for Kevin's sake and for our sake. Maybe he's scoring goals. Maybe all along a goal scorer is in the chat right now. Now how mental that would be. We signed Kevin in the summer and he scores the goals for us. And we play European football. Well, let's wrap this up because we've got other stuff to do. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Frustrating evening. Another defeat. But look, we're getting there. Another game to go. And then we got a nice little break. But of course, we'll still be here for previews and everything else with Palace. As always, if you do enjoy the content, leave a like and subscribe. Let's keep the channel growing, people. Really appreciate the support today. It's been fantastic. Everyone that's called in and everyone that's left a comment. Of course, it's very hard when there's about 200 odd people leaving a comment, so we couldn't read through all of them. But much appreciated to everyone who's tuned in today. We will be back tomorrow for another Palace video. I don't know what one it will be, but we'll be back 100%. But yeah, look, that's it from me and Patrick. 2-hour stream. Disappointed Palace. Until next time, up the Palace.